Hello.
Hey! Welcome to Real Talk Live. Where the entertainment is... Darn it. The entertainment's... Wait, nope. We'll try again. The talk is real and the entertainment's cheap.
Yes, it
I'm
is.
Todd. This is AJ. And he's here again. It's been a long time coming. He's very comfortable on camera, as you can tell.
It's going well.
Our friend, our brother, our QB for flag, Brandon. Hey, Brandon.
It's my quarterback,
How you
man.
guys doing?
It's my
Quarterback. Big shout out to everyone here. Thank you guys so much. We're going to take a second. We're about to have some fun. We're about to get real. We're about
Let's
to
do
get
it.
kooky. But before we do that, will you help us out? Will you like this video and will you share it? Todd, goodness gracious, I don't want anyone to see that I like Real Talk. Well, help us anyway. Sometimes I don't want people to know, so I still do it. Would you take a second and just share that? And like it. We have 31 people. It'd be awesome to have 31 likes and 31 shares.
Hey,
our crack team,
get to
our
sharing.
production guy Blake, he's got his headphones on. He's giving me the hang loose signs. He is saying he's ready. So super hot in here.
Dude, I thought the same thing.
I'm freezing.
I don't know what to say to that. Anyway, really great to see you guys. We have a jam-packed show for you. We've got 11 questions that came in this week. You guys brought it. We're excited to go
yeah.
into that. Speaking of which, if you want to ask a question or interact with us, you can drop them in the comments below. We will answer them anytime. Or say you got a question that's a little uncomfortable, a little risque about God, life, the Bible, or anything in between, right? Something that maybe you feel uncomfortable asking at church. Guess what? This is your opportunity. This can be church for the day. Go to www.theremnant.live/real-talk. Go down to hit submit question. It's going to pull up a form fillable box. Tippity tap. Shoot it in. And guess what? It goes in our database completely anonymously. Couldn't find you if we tried. And trust me, we have tried. If you think we won't answer questions that are real or uncomfortable, watch last week's episode. We did.
Oh, yeah, we definitely
and we
did.
will.
I'm always uncomfortable, so I'm ready.
What's up, John?
It's true, actually. So I'm going to take a second. We're going to give a shout out to everyone, and then we're going to dive right into this epic show. Yeah, that's the sound of diving. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So how many likes? How many likes we got? Shares, all that. I kept telling AJ that I was comfortable in there while editing, meaning that it was probably too warm for you. That's true. You should have known that. What is it set at right now?
64
I don't believe that.
with a snowflake on.
Is the one downstairs not though?
Yep,
I
64
don't believe you.
with a snowflake.
Hey, Haley Abbott, there's my baby brother. Love you, Brandon. All righty. And, my aunt, hey, Bessie. Hey, everyone, it's Sierra. Amber says, I'm okay, how are you? A lot of love going on there. John Leininger says hello, very dignified. Hello, John.
Hi, John.
Yo.
Hey, Candace, congratulations. I didn't get to tell you last week. I guess you were busy having a kid.
Yeah.
But congratulations on your beautiful
Awesome.
daughter. Speaking of, you got a kid.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
I'm his godfather.
Nice.
One of them.
I'm just a fan of him. I like him.
Do you?
Good kid.
Did you scare him before? Intentionally?
Were you his enemy for about 8 months?
Yeah.
No.
And then, anyway, hey, Kayla, what's up, buddy? So, what's our like share count at? Let them know.
So currently, we have 19 shares and 18 likes.
Wow. So, we have 34. So, about half of you don't like us, don't want to share anything. So, would you take a second, guys? Help us out. If we get 30 shares, it almost 35, actually. It's about 1,000 people. Please help us out. Look at this guy. Look at him. He just needs some. I'm going to tell you a story about a man who needs love. I made that up.
Yes.
I would really like to be
tell a
liked.
story.
So, I love him so much, but I'm still his enemy, so I do not like how I look on camera right now, guys. Oh, it's not very flattering. Let's sit up.
Bethany's talking about my son, not me. I would like to.
Sit
I like Todd, but that's it. Sydney, I wish that were true, and that's hurtful to Brandon. We expect it for AJ. Hey,
Thought we were cool.
I always wonder if I say her name crazy. Is it Denitsa? Tell me yes if I pronounced it right. She's awesome, by the way. Smart lady.
This sounds like it's pronunciated right.
If you don't like and share, the three guys might shed a tear. Well played. Kind of a rhyme, sort of. Not really, but... But yes, Krista, that would be awesome. Please like and share. So, guys, we're going to... I'm excited. Again, Real Talk giving you a chance to invite your friends. Well, this is silly. Hey, Aaron, thanks for your kind words, buddy. Let me tell you what's silly. I bet you guys have watched a video that was silly this week. Give me a hands up or an emoji in the comments right now if you watched a silly video that you would be slightly embarrassed that someone saw you watch. Whether that is how to cook. Production guy Blake's already raising his hand. Brandon already put his in there immediately. Yeah. Maybe it's something like how to make fancy pants. Maybe that's the video you watched. Maybe,
feel like you might wanna
maybe it's
tell us
something like
about
that.
pants.
My point is, you're willing to do that for something silly.
Something
Well, can you
silly.
do it for something real? So, anyway,
I always get sucked into the weird life hack videos
Like
the
how to make
life
fancy
hacks
pants?
are not absolute, like they're completely worthless, but they're just funny to watch. People like take pants and turn it into like planters or something, and I
Take pants and make them planners. This is an exact thing. I can't talk. I want to point out that Krista Bauman, whatever, no one really knows. Baffman. She says it wasn't meant to rhyme, period. And let me tell you something. Since you don't always use punctuation,
Made a statement.
you're slightly angry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Will you admit that when no one else will? Do
No.
people use punctuation to put across emotion at times?
Half time they don't even use commas.
I use punctuation.
So if you like silly, share us. No, you don't. You do not use it every time. That's a lie.
Exclamation points.
Sometimes
maybe.
you use emojis.
I
You want
do
me
use
to pull it up
emojis.
right
I
now?
do use emojis and exclamation.
You don't have to use punctuation. Here's my theory on this. If you're non-punctuation user, say you don't put periods typically, and you
Yeah.
put a period, you're meaning something.
Yeah.
So why don't we fess up? Why don't we admit it, world? Because when you get called out, you just say, no, I always use punctuation.
Yeah, so a lot of people, they'll send okay period when they're really upset with you. And if you send me okay period, I might unfriend you.
That's my point.
So that works out most of the time.
So we're going to move into the fun, the excitement. Now, Bethany, you're one of the ones I know that you always use punctuation, so it doesn't bother me. Gabby's the same way. She always uses punctuation, so it's that's not them. But let's say Blake. When Blake puts a period, he means something by it. Okay? He's going to
Making
say
a
he does it.
statement.
All right? Oh, now he's saying he does, even though he told me years ago he didn't.
I actually got it from you. I kind of make it little paragraphs when I'm typing out.
You don't, guys. My point, my point is, you don't have to use them. But let's just admit that sometimes you use them to put across your frustration, and you don't want to admit it.
That's fair.
Anyway, let's move on to something before we lose everyone. Hey, have you guys picked up any new hobbies since COVID started? See, this is good.
Nice. What's up, Kaler? I don't think so.
Yeah, you did. You did P90 for a while.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, I guess that counts.
I
Yeah.
didn't think about that.
Me either, because I'm so inconsistent.
I've lifted weights for the first time in my life now, so that's fun. I
Yeah.
hate it a lot.
There you go.
Yeah.
Did I do anything? Come on, there's got to be something we did. Hey,
don't know.
I learned.
You
I
always
got
worked
nothing.
out, so.
I got nothing, man.
We
I didn't,
also
let's be real. I didn't use my time wisely at all.
we launched a new hobby of
Hey.
following a.
Sorry, go ahead.
Never mind. Go ahead.
It's good. That's best. I did get better. I think we got better at multimedia a little bit.
Yeah,
People are watching. Go, no, you didn't. We
Maybe a
did.
little.
We had to because we didn't have church.
that's fair.
Why
Long
do you-
ways to go.
Classic AJ. Anyway, here's the thing, guys. What about you guys? Did anybody pick up any hobbies over COVID? That's a really great question.
It is
Kaler,
good. That's
did
a good
you?
one.
That is a great question. Let's move on. Tim watched a
Tim.
silly video. I'm in quarantine and just been watching YouTube at home. Perfect. Great time to join us because
Absolutely.
we're as exciting as YouTube, maybe.
We too are YouTube.
Nice. Yes, we are. We are on YouTube.
What did you just say?
We did watch the Quarantine Olympics.
gotcha.
I forgot about that. We did do the Quarantine Olympics like for one day.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
I can't remember what we did.
Greco-Roman wrestling.
Long story short, good time.
Did we learn how to do chops that day? Or?
Oh, Kaler started making jerky. What's your best jerky, Kaler?
that? We're like, yeah, we Greco-Roman wrestled. Kaler's like, I made jerky.
Same thing, right?
Anyway, this is a great. Kaler's giving us great questions here.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, let's move on to our first segment. While you guys are thinking that up,
Hey, what's up, Dalton?
hey, good to see you, Dalton, virtually. Love it, love that guy.
Me too.
Your segment is Real Random. What's Real Random, you ask? Well, I'll tell you. It's where we do random things for your enjoyment. In the past, it used to be really hot stuff, and today we bring that back. I'm just kidding.
So sad.
We used to do it. Today, the last few weeks, we're going to switch it up again, but we're going to finish up today with a little series we like to call Overrated, Underrated.
Overrated,
In which
Underrated.
The crew, I love teriyaki. The crew gives us, that's hilarious. Denise says, I played an incredible amount of COD mobile.
Nice.
Sorry, excuse me. Overrated, underrated. We come up with a topic, or they give us a word. I don't have any clue what the words are, and then we decide if it's overrated or underrated, and you guys join us. After that, stick around because we're going to give you a prize if you take part in our next
Ooh, prizes.
question. Did you ever win?
I've won once, yeah.
Yeah, did you get a
Nice.
prize?
Yeah, I did.
That was back when Fun Guy
Still on
Austin.
my counter.
Hurtful.
Well,
All right. Hey, it says AJ is underrated. Nice.
nice.
The only way this
That means
will
a
be
lot, man.
hurtful is if he comes up with Todd overrated. Right
He's
now.
never talked to the women because the women would definitely say AJ's about right.
Yeah, that's true, actually. If you click movies and watch movies, I just bought the 3 movie set of God's Not Dead. That's awesome, Aaron.
Heck yeah.
So, overrated, underrated, first question.
First up, pretty simple. Slightly going out of style. We're starting to kind of lose some of these around the nation.
Ooh,
Libraries.
libraries. So here's the.
Can't wait to hear your thoughts on libraries.
So libraries are interesting to me because I remember having a library card,
What grade
and
were you in?
I used to rent movies, but I never did a whole.
And there it was. I was waiting for it.
You just skipped over the age.
Now I'm trying to think. I don't think I really went there for books ever, and I didn't go to libraries very often, but I at least had a library card to where I'd rent my movies and take them back because that's the law, and I would take them back. So
Hey,
I'm
Jonesy.
going to say
Nice to meet you, Miss
underrated
Jones.
because they serve multiple purposes, and it's a good place for people to hang out.
I can't even read. So,
That's not true. He can't.
yeah, I can read okay. I would say overrated. I don't know. There are people who can just spend hours there and like go get your book and then go read it at home.
Underrated for sure. Little story because I know everybody hates when I tell them. But when I was in middle school, we actually lived out of the district, but I wanted to go. I wanted to go to the same school, so every day I got dropped off at the library, and I had to wait literally like sometimes 2 to 4 hours for my dad to get off work, and I loved every second of it. Thanks for pretending to listen.
No, I am listening. I was listening.
Now that when I think about libraries, I think about the first It movie where the kid was in the library and Pennywise just shows up chasing
Ooh,
him.
that's horrifying. Actually,
I've never seen that first one.
the first one's terrifying.
Yeah, the first one's probably scarier.
Like the original one, you mean?
No.
Correct. Oh yeah, I like the first one.
Oh, okay, you're thinking, yeah.
But you mean the
one's-
first
I meant-
episode of the
yeah.
new ones. I also agree that it
Oh,
is
I have
scarier.
seen that one then. Okay, nice. Yeah, I've never seen the
All
original.
right, what's next? Looks like we got an overall. We should start saying, hey, you should start counting up whether overall it's underrated, overrated.
Oh,
I'm
that's a good
curious.
idea.
So up next, we have a favorite
Oh, that's
summertime treat to
Haley?
eat while you're sitting around the fire. You take the graham, you take the mallow,
Didn't
you
we
take
do
the
this?
chocolate, and you
The
take
mallow.
another graham. S'mores.
Did we do s'mores? We might have. I don't remember.
Hey, it's all right. S'mores overrated, underrated.
Oh, severely underrated. S'mores is one of the best camping pastimes.
Wait, I'm sorry. What'd you call it?
S'mores.
Okay. Anyway,
S'mores.
Are you putting letters in there that don't
Yeah.
belong there?
I want you to understand this the same as whip.
S'mores.
No, it's s'mores. There's no
S'mores.
There you go.
He's never. Anyway, go
Feels
on.
weird to say it like
That's
that.
all right, man. You call it what it is.
Overrated. It breaks apart when you're eating it. Gets all over. I don't like it at all.
That's
Do you like the
ridiculous.
flavor of it?
Yeah, I would
So
rather just have
absurd.
a Hershey's bar though.
Fair enough. I say
absurd.
underrated. I like them as well.
Oh yeah, they're delightful.
Tasty.
Apparently, I hate everything.
All right, moving on. Everything in life.
It's all overrated.
Up next in today's day and age, this is something that we're all connected by, something that can make our lives better and sometimes make it worse depending on what we use it for.
Sure.
The internet.
The internet. I think the internet. Oh man, this is a tough one. I think the internet.
It's awesome. My aunt's
is-
staying on. Thanks for staying on, Desi.
I think the internet is overrated in the sense that
Well said, John.
it's so overly diluted with people in it now, and it's just it's slowly creeped its way into younger younger ages as times went on. I think it's kind of corrupting our brains.
Now, is it possible, genuinely asking, are you mixing that with social media? Are you calling internet and social media the same thing in your mind?
Yeah, maybe, because when I think of internet, a lot of the time I do think of like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
The only reason I thought that is I think that's
Uh-huh.
I think that definitely fits for social media. Anyway, go on.
But yeah, it is an open world of just knowledge, which I think is cool. I guess it's underrated in the sense of like knowledge, overrated in the sense of it's just overly diluted and people are just way too attached to it,
That's a good point.
overly reliant.
I would say underrated. I really like to know why other people think the way that they do. And if I like Google a Bible verse or something, a bunch of people will give in what they thought it meant, and like,
Yeah.
so I really like to use it for research. More than a library, anyway.
Yeah. Underrated because it's like having a library with everything in it. As long as you are wise enough to filter through to the actual stuff. So I love having that information at hand. However, I would agree with I would add a word to it, dangerous. It's very dangerous. Because a lot of people don't filter it, people will take, no pun intended, maybe pun intended, as gospel truth what they read on there.
That's good, man.
Guys, internet?
I would agree with a lot of what you guys said. Underrated in the sense of I think how
Hey, Denise.
it's utilized, but overrated in the sense of what it actually is utilized for.
Fair enough.
That can be anything. I mean, if I put a s'more in an electrical outlet, it's not going to go well. But
What'd you call
Fun
it?
turn.
s'more.
What do you think?
I'm sorry, s'more. My fault.
Okay, you can't have an awkward pause, man.
I agree. Honestly, it's overrated in the fact that people misuse it constantly, in my opinion. But it is definitely underrated. I mean, when you can do all these amazing things on it, you can contact people from halfway around the globe. We are the most connected generation, and that is still very cool. But besides that, people use it in such a strange way, and they attack each other. It's very weird. It can be a very toxic place.
Absolutely. 100% agree with that.
Alrighty. Good thoughts. I love
Excuse
it.
me. Sorry, guys.
Next up, we have a little debate on the show between the 260, the 574, and other things. But
Not really
everyone
debate.
likes to sometimes go back to your hometown.
Hometowns.
Oh, man.
No, this is good. I'm gonna say underrated, man. Hometowns are underrated. There's just something so, I don't know. There's a lot of sentiment to hometowns, and I'm a very sentimental person. So, lots of memories. You know, whenever I get to go back to my hometown, ROC 574. Yeah, man, it's good. You see memories everywhere, and it can make me sad, but it's also cool to remember. So
Yeah.
I represent the 989, so I don't care about these area codes. But,
Yo, Michigan.
yeah. I would say severely overrated because, I don't know, I want to make memories. I don't want to remember them, if that makes sense. Sit around remembering them at this age. It's weird.
I would say that I would also say underrated. Very sentimental. Love going back there, but I guess in a sense, man, it's tough going back because this is the kind of curse of being sentimental is that you can't ever go back.
Yep.
Like you can go back home, but you can't ever really,
yep.
be there again the way it was.
Oh yeah.
So good stuff. We got any more? Is that it?
We got one more.
Well, let's hear it.
One more.
So this last one is an exciting one. All right, so overrated, underrated. We're just gonna hop right in. Change.
That's deep. I like it. Change. Underrated?
Change.
Overrated.
Yeah, change. I'm gonna say change is underrated because I think we get.
I was thinking of like pocket change at first, so I wasn't even on the same page for a second.
I literally have change in my pocket right now. It's
Nice. I have
even
keys.
funnier. So you have keys.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. So I'm gonna say underrated because I think when we get stuck in the mindset of living out of the discomfort of not wanting to change because it is uncomfortable, that's when stagnancy occurs. So I think change is good for us. I think it makes us better. So I'm gonna say underrated.
I'll also say underrated. I don't know. I went to 7 high schools and I've moved a lot since I've even been here. I've changed a lot since I've been here. I take it in and I learn a lot from it. So I think fearing it is just robbing yourself from learning more.
It's deep. For real. I'm not mocking you. I know you think that. Well, before I give this answer, I hate change. Oh, I think it goes back to swinging the bat. Thanks. Man, that's deep. You just convicted me. I don't like it. Man, Candace and I literally are like brother and sister. It's eerie. She said the same thing at the same time.
Got a whole bunch.
If you're not changing, I guess, are you stagnant? If that's the case, then yeah, I guess it's underrated. But man, it's not comfortable. So,
Nope.
all right. Hey, thanks so much, guys. Thank you guys for interacting with us. Pocket change,
Absolutely, you guys
underrated,
are
normal
awesome.
change. I think both. We should want to change more, but with a balance. Dalton says underrated. There's so much life and so many possibilities that are missed and by going through the same motions.
I didn't tell you guys this, but when I said okay, period, if you send it to me, I'll unfriend you. Kaylee immediately sent it to me.
You knew this was going to happen.
Yeah. And
Kaylee is both one of the kindest.
she then trolled me by putting pocket change on her answer. So I don't know why she's attacking me tonight, but
It makes you feel better. She does to everyone. You know who's worse, though, because you don't expect it, is Hannah. Woof, her friend.
You ain't kidding.
She will rip you apart while smiling.
Oh, have you ever had your heart ripped in half? Oh boy.
Yes.
got really dark. Real sad out here.
So, hey, that was fun. We're going to move on. Are you going to be a man of your word, sir? Who is it? Which one? Did I say something?
I don't know.
What are you referring to, Dalton?
Really
I'm gonna
hope
feel
it's not
bad
me.
if I'm forgetting about something, but I don't know if I am or not. I've been in a daze.
That's fair, Kaylee.
I don't remember either. Unrelated. You just reminded me of something. Oh, happy birthday to Norman. We'll give a shout
Happy
out.
birthday,
Yeah,
Norman.
Happy
birthday.
birthday to the Normmeister, the Norminator, the Ray Lewis of Flag, the
Normality.
Spinmeister, the Spin Cycle.
I've heard 2 of these.
Yeah, I mean all
The
this.
floor high
So-
fiver.
The floor high fiver.
All right. Yeah. Oh man. So hey, we're gonna move on, but before we do, we already got our first question.
Hey.
I want to answer it real quick, and then we'll move on to our second segment, which, as you
right.
know, is the chance for them to win a prize. So go ahead and throw that up for us, my good man. Guys, we got a question, and here it is. Ready? Sure. Should I go? Is it ready? What is your most embarrassing moment?
Most embarrassing moment. Oh man.
I can give one of Norman's. We just referenced it.
Dude, every time, because I know we've had these kind of questions before, like what your most embarrassing moment is, and I can never think of the
can't
same
remember
one
mine either.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with.
Got to delete her. Oh, I get it. I'm a nerd. Dude, he's on a different plane.
Yeah, I love
You got to
that
delete
guy.
her.
Yeah. I'll be
No, I
honest,
love
as
it,
soon as
Dalton.
this
It's
is
not a
over.
distraction. We're real talk. We should all delete Kaylee. Not from our lives, though.
No, we love you.
Shadow ban. Man, most embarrassing moment. I'm gonna go with.
We don't have to go in order here if you can't think. You got one, Brandon, while he's pondering?
Yeah, as an
Awkwardly?
adult, I do anyways. As
Sure.
a kid, it was awful, but it was not too long ago. Me and Peyton were at Walmart, and
Oh, no.
I was going to grab her some chocolate milk, and I thought she went to the self-scanner. And Ryan and Shai were there, too. Yeah. I then went to the register, put my chocolate milk there, and almost put my arm around my wife, I thought. And I looked over and saw not my wife at the register that I was standing at, and I was like, "You're not my wife," and then ran away with my chocolate milk.
How close were you to putting your hand around her?
My arm was up. I was ready to.
So you had committed.
Yeah, and then Ryan was right there, so he didn't make it. You know Ryan, he started laughing so hard.
I missed that
Oh
guy.
my gosh, that's hilarious, dude.
All right. You got one?
Yes. This one's ridiculous. So I was I went to a lake one time, and
Sydney, I'll delete everyone.
there was-
Sorry.
there was a diving board, and I love diving boards. If you know me, you know that I love going diving. For real, man, I love it. I'll spend hours just
Is this a real thing?
absolutely.
Okay, so he's like, hey, if you know me, you know my love for diving. I've never heard of it in my life.
Oh yeah, dude, I love diving, man. I really do.
Yeah, okay, pal. You love almonds too. Whatever.
I love almonds. Give me the almonds. I love them.
Tom Cruise on Oprah.
Get like a 5-pound bag of all.
So I was at a lake one time and I was diving, and my
Dalton, that's why I
my
love you,
stomach
man.
started feeling a little funky, and I was like, "Oh man, my stomach didn't feel too good." Well, I kept diving, and later on, we went to go get something to eat,
Mm-hmm.
and so when we went to go get something to eat, I went to the restroom. And it turns out I had pooped myself.
Oh.
Didn't even notice.
That's disgusting.
And embarrassing.
No.
I can't even talk anymore. Real quick, only because of Norman, so that is embarrassing.
Yeah,
How
it
old
is
were you?
embarrassing. This was like
Yesterday?
3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so was it that long ago? Did I know you?
Barely.
Where were you at?
It was
Oh,
where
no,
was
don't
it,
tell
man?
me. I don't want to know.
It
I'll
was
ask
some
later.
lake in like Warsaw or something.
Who were you with?
Some
friends?
It was with.
You don't have to say names.
Yeah, it was with friends.
So I want to go up here real quick because this is a complete aside. But Norman Jackson, this is interesting.
Okay.
Since it's his, since we know him and it's his birthday, let's give him a little attention. Do you guys know for real that Norman? He's making a joke about you having lake friends. Have you met Norman's lake friends?
I've seen pictures.
So I want to describe this to you guys. For those that don't know, if you know Norman, very friendly, very like, I don't know how to describe it. Like you think you know him real well.
Yeah.
Right? He's a part of our world. And multiple times we have found that Norman has a completely different life in which he is friends with, and this is not meant as an insult, I promise you.
Yeah.
With these like hipster, cool, like opposite of us.
Boating people.
Boating people. Like Massachusetts Bay, like elite. We know they came to your birthday party. And the thing is, I don't understand. And we were clearly separated by both finances, social status, coolness. As we're at his birthday parties, we're all like, "Hey, look at us!" And his cool friends like, "What up, guys?" And Norman just to watch him go back and forth. And to this day, I want you guys to know, I don't know how he has who these people are. They just showed up. And anyway, if you were here, you'd understand.
One of them saved Norman from a shark attack once, and that's why he loves sharks now.
Do you realize I almost believed you? I'm like, really? My most embarrassing moment, I have one with the church. I don't remember it. It was super embarrassing. I'm glad I can't. If Mandy or someone remembers, they can just remind me. But it was at this when we were at the other place. But one that happened recently is when I did go longboarding. There was a hill, and this was, I'll be honest with you, this was in the summer last year. And I rode down. Did I tell you, if I told you this? This is embarrassing. So I rode down it, and somehow I rode it the real way. But somehow I rode it down like a car because I thought it'd be cool. By the way, that's way more dangerous. And this was steep hill, and dude, I was doing good, and then it started wobbling, and so I knew I was like, I'm in trouble. Well, then I noticed agonizing pain in my butt. Oh, no. And what had happened somehow is the wheel had caught my underwear and started spinning it in. And it tore a hole in my underwear. But that's not the worst part. So then I'm like stuck. The wheels are going weird. It's scratching me. So I flip over, and there's an old lady going, and the longboard was attached to my back, wobbling, like as I stood up like a tail. And there's a scrape to this day, like it looks like a Nike sign on my tail. So, probably too much information.
Oh, no. I thought you were going to tell about the time that you stepped on one of your best friends repeatedly playing basketball.
That's not embarrassing. Well, it would be to tell. Yeah. I have a tendency. Yeah, leave it alone.
We'll leave it there.
Cool, man. This was good. That's our. Hey, drop your most embarrassing moments. I've seen some people do it. Hey, Dalton, I love how real you are, man. I really do. I tell the guys this all the time. So he took an embarrassing thing, and I think we all have that. Candace said before Jesus, man, I can think that. Sometimes my embarrassing moments are after Jesus when when lived my life in a way that...
When I know better.
Yeah. So, moving forward, we're going to go on to... I forgot the name. Remnant Roulette. What's Remnant Roulette? What is Remnant Roulette? Well, AJ will tell you.
Hey, Remnant Roulette's where we, the people, ask you a question, and you, the people, answer it. And hey, you get put into a drawing for a prize. If you stick around, get your name called, you win.
Yeah, we'll do the announcement at 9:35 for the prize. 9:35.
All right.
The time I broke a table in tables. Which time?
Multiple.
Yeah.
That's why I said tables, because there's been multiple times that I've broken a table.
Stuck my tongue to a frozen pipe. How'd you get it off, John?
Oh,
for
man,
real. Anyway, Remnant Roulette, here's your question. It's going to come at you. We'll answer it as well, and then you answer it. And again, it has to be in below. You will have about 10 minutes to give your answer. What's the question?
Production guy, what do we got?
So, if you could join any musical group, past or present, who would you join?
Easy.
I already know what you're picking. Wait. Say it on three.
What?
1, 2, 3.
Backstreet Boys.
I knew it!
Who wouldn't want to join those guys? Huh? They walked on the world at one point, all right?
It's true, man.
I'm insecure enough. I don't need their help.
Musical group. Bro, this is tough for me. Because this, you went boy bands. I'm thinking boy bands and bands.
That's actually funny.
That's tough. And it depends on what we're basing it off of. If we're basing it on looks, dude, you know how awesome it would have been to be in Korn when they had the Adidas full-on jumpsuits?
Mom said New Kids on the Block.
Who did?
My mom.
Heck yeah.
Now, I am going to go with, real answer, though, I would go NSYNC. I would go opposite. I'd go NSYNC. I liked NSYNC more than Backstreet Boys when I was a kid.
When you look back on it, they probably had bigger hits, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
Saucy Spice. That's
I
ridiculous.
still don't
Andy.
know the difference.
I still don't know the difference.
Well, get out.
What you, Brandon?
I feel like I'd probably fit in best with the Glee group, just because they would find a way for the blind guy to have a real spot. So
So
Which
you
group?
join Glee.
Glee, the high
Like-
school, yeah.
I said the Glay group, and I was
Yeah.
like, "What is that?" Yeah,
I
Never
just
heard
made
this
it
in my
up.
life.
Yeah.
that's a good idea. James said, "Oh, hey James, what's up, brother?" Spice Girls. We got a lot
Chris
of
Courtney.
Dalton says
Backstreet's back.
Beatles. Chris Courtney's on.
Yeah,
Did he say Backstreet's back?
he did.
I love that guy.
All right.
Hey, Brandon said I made it for a few minutes. Did you invite him? That's awesome. If you did. Need to breathe. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
I did, yeah.
That's cool that he comes for love for you.
Let's see.
Temptations. Ooh, that'd be cool. Being one of those old school crooners would be pretty cool. All right, so hey guys, you have until I'll drop it down here. You have until 9. I guess let's start at now. We'll go to 9:10. You have till 9:10.
9:10.
No, that's not right. 9:15. 9:15. You have till 9:15 to give your answer. We'll announce it at 9:35. Drop your answer below. What if you could join any musical group, past or present? Who would it be? Give us a why.
Line Street Boys.
Who said that?
Jordan.
Line Street Boy. Hey.
Gosh, dang it.
Hey, they kick you out once you get married, so I don't wanna.
There's some good stuff in here.
I
Casting
understand
crowds,
that,
Newsboys.
Ed. I had a situation like that too growing up, where I felt like, where I was kind of mocked for the way I dressed. Excuse, just kidding, James. Thanks for being on. A lot of cool stuff here. Sydney says I'd like to perform something along Britney Spears. That's nice.
Oh man, Brittany.
You can't be Britney.
I can be Brittany.
There's a few problems with it right off the top of my head.
So how are you, Beastie Boys?
Beastie
Chris
Boys,
Courtney.
nice.
Hey, how do you feel about there's going to be an entire segment about you? You've already thought of this, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped. I get
Nice.
to, I like
I
to
thought you were going to say no.
really like to talk in front of a bunch of people. So
I'm only going to ask this question.
I wish I didn't wheeze all the time.
we were talking about it earlier.
Hey guys, if you ask a question live, meaning down, so this is the order that we'll answer things. If you ask it in the comments, Brandon, they kick you out when you get married. You said
yeah,
that?
I said they kick you out of Line Street Boys
Jesus
when you get
crickets.
married.
That's absolutely hilarious, actually. You make those comments all the time, and then I'll hear them later. So we got a couple questions that came into the anonymous. So you guys ready for this one? This is going to be a hard one for you, I think, Brandon. I'm going to go ahead and answer it, and he'll get it up. He's a machine. Who's your favorite baby in the church?
I think AJ.
Nice. Yes. I win.
This is puts some of you in a tough spot.
Sorry.
You guys are supposed to love all of them. I have an easy choice.
What would yours be? New Kids on the Block. Thanks, Andrea.
It's my sister.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I don't know why I was so excited about it. We don't,
Whitechapel. I don't really know. Nice. I like when people give these real thoughts.
I agree with Sherry. Jackson is my favorite baby in the church.
AJ? Baby Jesus. Nice, Norman.
Man, I don't know, man. I
have
don't.
a baby. I guess she's not
Is
a baby.
when when it comes to babies, I don't really interact with them a whole lot, just because, they're very small and they make me uncomfortable.
Sure.
I'm scared to hold them, so I don't know. I wouldn't.
Sydney? Sorry. Oh, that wasn't Sydney. That was Amber. That made me laugh too.
So I don't really have an answer on this one, man. Because I don't really I'll talk to all of them like, hey.
I
Like,
think
that's
you're
it.
just afraid to hurt feelings.
I got your question, Bethany. We'll answer that in just a second.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I don't really have a favorite.
I have my favorite. All of them.
Nice. Brandon's like,
Small child baby or adult crybaby? Which do you mean? Or well played. Small child baby.
I'm not
nice.
realizing
Trent said Avenged Sevenfold. Nice.
I blew my one chance to say Jason, and I said AJ.
I wish I could draw because I had this picture of Jason in my head that I could draw that would be so funny. Just a heads up. So switching gears now to a little bit of a. We'll go to this and then the one. Did you see the one Norman just asked? Did you catch it? I'll ask it or answer it. I can't speak. I'm not Norman. I'm so sorry, Bethany. Bethany
Jill.
says. What'd she say?
She said, "What a dad comment, Todd."
Because I love all of them equally, Chill. All the children in the church. Bethany says, how do you personally handle combating your fears when they're based on history? So your fears are based on things that have happened to you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. She picked a
Okay.
straight up favorite.
So it's how do you handle your fears and what? I'm sorry.
I'm probably closest to Pie Bro because I've seen her recently. Jackson I was for a while when we did the dog thing. Now he hates me.
Yeah, COVID happened.
That is what it was,
Yeah.
dude. Anyway, what'd you say? I'm sorry. I switched
It's
gears.
how do you handle your fears? What?
How do you handle combating your fears, dealing
Okay.
with fears when those fears are based on history, when they're based on things that have happened to you?
Okay.
Like it's not just, hey, this could happen, it did happen.
That's hard, man. Great question.
That's awesome, Ed.
I think you got to remember who you are. You know, that's something I say a lot is you got to remember who you are. You know, if you're a Christian, you know that you're a new creation. You know, and whatever fears you may have had in the past, you don't have to be scared of anymore. You know, or whatever you may have done that was in a pattern back then doesn't have to be the same pattern. You know, you have the power of the Holy Spirit.
What if it's not a pattern you have? Like it's something that someone's done to you.
I think
What do you think?
This hits home for me.
Sure.
I think if you would ask me a month ago, I would probably say I either ignore it or I say that I want to do something about it. But here lately, it's just a 1, 2, 3 go mentality for
I
me.
love that. I really do love that.
Whatever, like working out's an example. I was either afraid of being judged being in there because I look athletic, but I'm not like strong. So this year, I just made things intentional. It's 1, 2, 3 go now.
I like it. So in this case, your answer would be, even though the past everything's telling you not to, because it's, you know, this is what happens every time, you just kind of that 1, 2, 3 go mentality. I think for me, I love that, by the way. I do think that's what you end up having to do in life, right? That's the end result is you have to work. You have to do it anyway. Right? You have to step when you're afraid. Something though that I think is interesting that always really stuck with me and helped me kind of separate is when I was in counseling a while back, he said, Todd, a lot of the patterns you have, okay, they're not irrational. Because what I said to him was, I go, I know this is irrational. And he said, it's not irrational. Based on your past, it's completely rational. He said, but it's not healthy. And what you've got to learn to do is separate that. Like it's to accept it happened. It's not saying that you don't have things that happen to you and there's reason why maybe you mistrust or a reason why, you know, I don't like being alone with men if it gets really bad, you know, whatever. But it's separating that rational thing that's a real fear to what's healthy in life, and then you implement that 1, 2, 3. Let's do it. So that's my advice.
That's
Hopefully
good.
that helps. Thanks for asking that question, Bethany.
I think there are so many people that are like afraid of plane accidents and stuff or car accidents, but they
that's good
realize
too.
that they have to get around anyway, so they just do it.
1,
So
2, 3.
what
100%
separates you from getting in a car as opposed to, I don't know, asking somebody that question or whatever?
I love it, man. I think you're right on. Guys, keep the
interesting.
questions coming. You can drop them in the comments below, or you can send them to the link completely anonymously at www.theremnant.live/real-talk. You can ask us questions. You can about us, about our church, about God, the Bible. You know, we'll give you even our thoughts on a situation. We don't promise to always get the answer 100% right, but we promise you to do our best and point you to the truth. It's the passage I tell myself that I'm controlling my future if I don't want history to repeat. That's really good, Andrea. I think that's cool. All right, moving on to another question we just got in the anonymous chat here. Unless I missed one in there. Hey, Amelia, what's up? Miss you. Love her a lot. She's cool.
What's up, Amelia?
How do you, wrong part, go to the second one. You got the alien one? All right, you ready for this one, guys?
Alien.
Have you ever thought to what aliens could look like? My thought is that they could possibly be the, quote, extreme beings from the Bible. Example, Nephilim, giants, etc. What do you think?
Oh boy, I
That's
think
really good,
that,
Aunt Bessie. I agree with you.
dude. For a split second, I thought you had like this white cardboard thing out of nowhere. That was just the line coming up on the screen.
It had me too.
Really? It was
But
perfect
I'm not
timing.
on this every week. So.
Yeah, it's
I have an excuse.
So, anyways, man, aliens. I would say, you know, when it comes to, they mentioned like Nephilim. Nephilim, yes, Nephilim. Sorry. I don't know if I would consider those aliens. I think those are just different forms of being, which I guess that's what an alien is too, though. So, I don't know.
Just thinking like when you thought about it.
Yeah, I guess when I think of aliens, I think of them as, you know, not of this earth, and they're, you know, I guess they're from outer space. So would they be like us? Maybe in a sense, but as far as what they would look like, I think they would not look like us. At least not entirely.
That was alien sound. You didn't understand that what I was talking.
X-Files.
Those are your questions, man. I wasn't. You don't need to read them right now. Just for the
gotcha.
future.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm so glad we're all together.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I told you, man. I'm a little. Ugh.
I find myself
Yeah, it's only today.
less wondering what they look like or anything like that, but I'm always wondering what they're capable of. If they were to come, like how outgunned we would be or whatever, mostly from horror movies and stuff. But because aliens are never depicted well in Hollywood, so I assume they would come here and just be better than us.
Those jerks.
Be better than us.
I don't know. We haven't thought of that. Like, if aliens were real, what would they look like? Yeah, I mean, I think I probably considered it as far as the connection to the Nephilim and giants and stuff. It's hard. I find those. I think a lot of times when I think about those, I think about them differently.
Yeah.
As far as like I think about them. Candace said, I don't care about aliens. Humans are hard enough to deal with. Isn't that the truth? But yeah, I think that could be an interesting thought. I know a lot of people have like theories if aliens are real, say that they were the gods of old times. So like the Egyptians were worshiping these aliens.
I was about to mention Egyptians. I think it's interesting, like how they've looked at mummies
Yeah.
of Egyptians, and their heads are shaped so interesting. You know, I know there's been talks of, you know, ancient Egyptians
Got your question.
forming an alliance with
love this
aliens,
question.
and they've said that they've actually mated, and that's what all the kings were the product of what that was. So, which is, I mean, who knows, man?
I'm thinking their headbands were just too tight and you're reading too much into it.
I don't know, man. You make you nervous? Make you feel like you question your whole life?
I'm
Entire life.
never going to.
Hey, got a question here from Luke. Did you catch that one? Hey, Ben, happy birthday, buddy.
Happy
Ben
birthday.
shares a
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
My buddy Ben shares a birthday. A lot of bees. Buddy Ben shares a birthday with Norman. Aliens are the people who eat s'mores. All right, here's the question. Luke dropped one here. It says, I like this. It says, do you think the church has permanently changed in regards to how we gather since COVID? Will gathering together ever be the same because of how much, quote, online church has become the new normal now?
I
I
think
love this. This is a great question to ponder.
definitely. I think that it's currently changed for sure in this era of time. As far as permanently, I don't know about permanently. I think that there may be a period of time where we kind of go through a transition of trying to get back to it. The church with a capital C, I think it won't ever fully be the same. I think there will be places where that will go back to what it was like.
I'm so naive that I felt like we were pretty close to the same already, like here, because we still get together and
Yeah.
life group still goes, and we still have men's group and play basketball. I've always considered Sundays my slice of normal, so for this question, I would just say it's already there for me. But
Yeah. Candace, I have a question about your home church real quick as you talk about. So who teaches the lessons in your home church, or like who preaches or teaches, I guess? I guess you wouldn't really be preaching in that case. I'm curious. I like what you just said about that. So here's my thoughts on this. I think, and I'm about to probably make some people mad, maybe. I think that we shouldn't let it become the new normal. And I think that there's a reason that God said, do not neglect to gather as a habit of some. And when I look back at history and I see how many people are in your church and how do they determine who, like, home church, like who teaches week to week. I'm just curious how other churches are set up. So when I look back in history, right, Christians were persecuted.
Yeah.
So let's look in other countries. Christians aren't allowed to meet publicly. The government tells them they're not allowed to.
Right.
You know, that kind of thing, maybe in a different country. And they continue to meet. Why is that? You know, why is that so important? So I think, I don't, it's a great question. I don't think it should.
Yeah.
And I think that it's an easy excuse for a lot of believers who want it easy. Right? It has become that. Not there are some that, they're getting threatened. I'm not saying to do that is
Sure.
bad. I'm saying overall, though, right, it's going to give that excuse for people who didn't really want to go anyway. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and we've definitely seen that. We've seen ever since the pandemic has started. I know we read. I can never remember the name of the site that we've
It's
used.
awesome, Kelsey. That's the
what's
point
it-
for it.
what's it
People that have
called?
struggle and need it. That's what it should be for, right? Like for different seasons.
Place for the broken, the hurt.
Yeah.
What's the? They give all
love
the
that.
church statistics. I can never remember.
Oh,
the name.
Barna Group.
Barna.
Barna.
Yeah, we looked into Barna, and I remember it was a crazy percentage. It was like 30%.
30%, yeah.
Of all Christians stopped doing church at all, even online after COVID started. I mean, that's
Isn't that
insane,
wild?
man. 30% of American
Self-professed
Christians.
Christians. Yeah. Yeah.
That's insane.
I'm wondering how many people that affected were there. They then think, well, then do we just give up when it gets hard?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and we talked about that too. I love this question because Luke, thanks so much, because these are kind of questions we should think. Like, how much are we allowing our faith to? I'm not necessarily saying giving a moral value on this, but we do need to think about what makes church. And in this case, like, I'm all about reaching people, right?
Right.
And using social media and having it online. I think we should.
Absolutely.
But I also think community is important. And how do we get that? I don't know. Be interesting to see. What do you think, Luke? Do you think it's changed? You're still here?
That's good,
a
man.
great question.
I like that.
I like it a lot.
Good stuff, man.
Okay, we got another question here.
Okay.
What are your guys' thoughts on the church changing?
Yeah, I'm curious as well.
Um,
I sounded so professional. Very, very soothing.
Though the person that's asking about the woman that was on last week, we are going to answer your question. We have it in our stack of questions.
We do.
So I think it's pretty funny, the way you asked this time. So I don't think that about you. We got that next question? All right. So I love it. Keep them coming, guys. This is great.
Hey, let's get it.
How do you get back into church when you've drifted away? What do you do when you feel very high anxiety in the church because of some people? If you feel scared of a person in the church, what do you do?
So this is tough.
Love it, Luke. I think we are. Sorry, I absolutely agree with that statement.
Yep.
So, I can understand, the first part of that question is, falling away from the church, because I did that for a little bit, about two and a half years ago, I think, and I was gone for like a month or two, and I came back. But
It was like 3 months. But
was it? It didn't feel that long. So yeah, I was gone for a while, and I came back. But when it comes to, if it's people, you just have to follow what the Bible tells you, and that means go to them. You got to go to them. And if it's someone you're scared of, you got to explain you got to let them, you got to give them the opportunity to either repent or explain or whatever the case may be. You have to give them a chance. Because then you're not allowing them to partake in their duties as a Christian as well. So.
yeah, I think going to them is really important. I think asking yourself, why do they make you uncomfortable, or being real about it, I guess.
That's good too.
Because you can say, well, it's just because of how they dress.
Good
or
question,
something.
Candace. Sorry, go on.
Just being really honest about it. Honestly, it's one of those things for me where it's just go, 1, 2, 3, go. Because if God's real and if God's a good God, your comfort is going to be taken care of.
Amen.
He's going to make sure that you're made comfortable.
It's good, dude.
Yeah, and I think the enemy, right? We have an enemy, and we have, I always say it like this. For me, it's like I have the traitor and I have the enemy. The enemy
Yeah.
is the devil, right? Satan, who lies to us and messes with him. We also have a traitor inside of us who wants the comfort, who wants easy, who wants that. And he often opens the door to the enemy in some ways, right? Like to that
And
temptation.
they work together.
And I think, I do think Candace asking the question is what, if you feel scared of a person in church, what do you do? I think that, you need to kind of help us know what that's about, right?
Right.
Because I think there's a good question. Are we talking about someone did something to you?
Right.
Or are we talking about someone just makes you uncomfortable?
That's
kind
good.
of deal.
Yeah, because there's definitely big
But in
difference.
general, how do you get back into church when you've drifted away? I think what he said, 1, 2, 3. I like that, and
I think
dive in.
you guys got a pretty similar question a few weeks ago. It was somebody in the church reminds me of somebody who did something to me once.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she Kelsey just said. Did you say it reminds you of that question? Yeah, exactly. I agree.
That's good.
Hey, Greg. So
What's up,
maybe
Triple
if you're
B?
still watching, you can use that link to fill that question out a little bit.
Or if you need to talk to somebody about it, like message the church or somebody. I mean, if you really need to talk about it.
That's good too, yeah. If you need someone with you, bring them along. I like that.
All right. Okay. Oh, we got a lot. I missed some here.
I'm very
People,
popular.
man, people have really passed, ever since we came back, people are just really hitting us with questions, man. It's pretty cool.
I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, I've loved
Absolutely.
it too. We're kind of getting back to it.
Yeah. There was a while there where we're kind of in a question drought.
Stagnant, right?
It's not the, it's
People
not
get used to
the,
something.
it's definitely not the case anymore. If anything, we're going through an influx of like, oh, we have a lot of questions. What do we do with them? So it's good stuff. Thank you guys for asking the questions you're asking.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Next question. Did you get those? You ready for the one? This one's I guess it's what Real Talk's about.
Okay.
Thoughts on birth control? Is this a way we try to control our lives?
This
Hey,
is
we're gonna be real. We got to take these questions and ask.
yeah,
them,
this
or
is
answer
good,
them.
man.
3 guys answering questions on this.
I think that birth control, I don't see a problem with birth control as far as using it in the sense of like, hey, like I'm not ready to have kids right now. I think that because I think there's a difference. It's just like if you have a headache and then you're like, I want to take ibuprofen. It's the same thing in my opinion. Kind of. Like when it comes to overall, like, I guess... Oh, not processes, but overall, I guess ideas. I guess I kind of view it as the same. It's the same thing. Because I guess for me, it's hard because I'm trying to think of if there's an abuse of it, which there probably is in some case. I just can't think of what it would be. But I guess that's my initial thought. I gotta think some more. But
My answer isn't exactly politically correct, but I feel like if we're going to ask it, then we have to ask where the line is on these kind of things. Is the line birth control, or is it condoms, or is it hoping for the best, or is it abortion? Because
Well, we know that one. Yeah.
yeah, so we have to ask at what point does it become that, right? Is it birth control? I don't support the idea of birth control personally. But that's, I don't know, it's just, to me, you're still making a decision to take away something that you knew what the repercussion was. And I guess that's like, I'm not extremely right-sided about a lot of things, but this is probably one of them where I am.
right,
And that's kind of why when the question was asked, because I know that a guy saying whether or not a woman should be able to
Yeah.
make that choice isn't popular.
Yeah, I would say so. First and foremost, I think birth control in general is different than abortion,
Yeah, definitely.
because we're not talking about ending necessarily life. Okay, because
Yep.
I think the abortion is very clear, right? However, birth control is one of those things that I think is, and someone said this up here, I think it's a conviction thing. I think it's something that Paul probably kind of talks about it. We don't know specifically, and I think you got to be prayerful about it. And there was mentioned up there, if you're using it to justify sin or protect against sin, not good.
Right.
If you're using it, I do know that there are physical things that women it helps with, regulating things and all that kind of stuff. I think that's one of those things you got to pray about and ask yourself, in your spirit, in your heart, in the Holy Spirit, do you feel a conviction about that?
Right.
So that would be my answer to that.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Yeah, I guess I didn't even.
And I think what you said is a great point, and I think Mandy's pointing to that. She said if the point is control, many people use other methods other than a pill or device, so is that control too then? So, that I think that was kind of your point, is where is the line at?
Yep.
Which goes back to that personal conviction.
I showed my ignorance to the topic because I didn't even know that it could, like, what it does for a woman's body or whatever. I
No,
just hear
I
it
don't.
and
I don't think it's ignorant at all, because I think what you said is awesome, because it shows that for you, that was a conviction the Lord put on you. And you need to obey that, right? And it talks about that too. And for you, for whatever reason, that was what he said. And that's no different than people who, Paul talks about meat that's came from sacrifices to false gods.
Yep.
People were saying, well, we shouldn't eat that, and Paul's like, hey, listen, I eat it. because it's just meat to me. But if it bothers someone else or causes them to stumble, then I won't do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So great question.
Absolutely. Good stuff. It's real talk.
Yeah, dude. Thank you guys so much.
We got another interesting one.
I was thinking about one of the ones we're gonna get to.
Oh, gotcha. Man, they must be
I
pulling
guess
in.
we're moving on to. Oh, there's lots. I love it.
just
Keep
saw one
asking them,
like
guys. We got the COVID one. Hey, we got another COVID question. We answered
Okay.
one last week. So I'm assuming this person was here last week, but I don't know that for sure. So it says, "What would you do if there were more elders in the church with more high risk of COVID? Would you take things further?" I'm assuming they mean. That's why I think it's connected to last week. Would we go farther in our precautions that we're putting on people, or like precautions? You guys, I guess that's not a fair question for you guys. For me, I don't know if you mean elders as in the biblical role.
Yeah,
Or
I
are
was
you
trying
meaning
to-
older people?
Yeah.
Again, I feel like I get kind of cornered here a little bit. So I'll state what we do here personally. I can't answer that for every church. I think for us, it wouldn't matter the case. We have canceled in person service.
Sure, we
necessary
have.
when we had
Yeah.
a lot of people sick, or we needed to do more clean, or someone was whatever.
Yeah.
Positive for COVID or whatever.
We take steps.
Yeah. So I think what they're saying is, would we like force stuff? I think it'd be the exact same thing. We don't
Exactly.
make people come.
That's what I was about to
We
mention.
offer masks. We sanitize everything. There's room to socially distance if you want to. People say, well, you don't make everyone wear a mask. That's correct.
Yes.
So
Again, like you said, use your own.
yeah. And if you don't feel comfortable coming to church for
exactly.
that reason, then you shouldn't come.
Yes.
If that's
We're not going to make you come here.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know if that hopefully answers your question. Moving on to something a little friendlier. That was fine. I just meant fun. How about this?
Lighter.
Can you lighter? That's the word. Can you tell us your favorite thing about each of your co-hosts?
Favorite thing, Todd. My favorite thing about you, man, is your heart. You have a great heart.
Oh, thanks, man.
You've pushed me a lot over the years, and you've definitely helped change who I am. And you've and you're very patient with me. So because I know I got a lot with me. That drags along. So,
Me too, brother.
Brandon, man, you're just very easy to talk to, man.
Yeah, you
You're
really
very
are.
relatable. I can have light talks with you that are hilarious, but can also have very deep talks with you, and I love that. So a lot of the time with people, it's either one or the other. You're both, and I appreciate it. Thanks, man.
It's weird because it's a tough question for me because you're literally like 2 of my 5 favorite people in the world.
Nice.
I think if I had to pick like favorite thing, Todd's taught me so much about being a man and holds me to a standard that other people are either afraid to or just bail out on.
It's good.
So I guess being a man is my favorite thing about you.
Oh, thanks, man. That's really
Biblically.
kind.
And for AJ, it's
Way to
just AJ's. It's gonna sound so ridiculous. Literally, what you said about me, though.
I get it.
Where we could laugh for 30 minutes about something so stupid, but we could also
true.
talk for 2 hours about really important topics.
Yeah, man.
And I don't know, man. You guys are like actual family, so it's a tough thing to
I
just
appreciate
pick one
that,
thing
man.
about you guys.
Hey, Sherry loves your laugh.
Thank you. It's funny because a lot of the time it sounds like a tea kettle and it's
can't
ridiculous. So you can't breathe.
I feel like it's kind of same for both you guys. I love AJ. I mean, you're my brother, dude. I love your heart. I love that you're passionate, man, and like you sold out for the kingdom, and like what, and it's hard, and
Yeah.
you're walking a path that like is hard for you, and you are what you are, and you're too hard on yourself, but you are exactly who you say you are.
Thanks, man.
Brandon, I love that
appreciate
you're
that.
bold, dude, even though you don't think you are, and you're getting bolder. And I love the same thing AJ does. I love like I can have fun with you, man, and also talk deep. And a little thing I love about you too. Actually, both you guys do this a lot, and this proves that people that I love like the same things. I love that you guys ask questions for 2 reasons. One, because it's refreshing and shows you're listening, but also you just ask good questions and make me think and make people think around you. And that's such a rare thing because everyone wants to share what they think. I want to go back to James's question real quick. I hope he's still here.
Sure.
James asked a good question. I'm so sorry, James. I meant to. I don't have it right in front of me, but I do remember the gist of it. James says, you might be able to find it, but he says, what do you think? Do you think people respect people who are leaders outside of the church, who are like financially successful, but maybe they're not in a ministry, even though they're living their entire life as a ministry, right? Like, so they're not doing ministry as a vocation, but they're doing it in life, and people seem to like maybe look down on them or don't respect them as much. Does that make sense?
Man,
I
guess I look at it as, the Bible tells us to, tell others as you go, no matter what that looks like. So I guess that doesn't affect me in any sense of like how I look at people, I guess. I think that answers the question. Does that answer the question?
I don't quite think I completely understand it because
Like, it's the idea that maybe even in our church, like, do you feel like people don't respect men as leaders who aren't necessarily leading in the church, but they're leading maybe in their job, that kind of thing?
I guess
Gotcha.
you got to ask like
Leading,
Are
right?
you, are you
in a
considering
position.
Right.
Do you want respect as in I'm gonna bow to what you say, or do you want respect as in I'm just gonna like respect the things you do and not go at you about it or whatever? I think people do a great job at respecting the leaders, for the most part, and people who think they're leaders might not get the respect they're looking for because they want the title more
Yeah,
than
they're
they
in it
want
for
the
different
leadership.
reasons. Yeah.
That's a great point, and I like what you just said there. You can be leading even if people aren't recognize you as leading, because
Absolutely.
leadership is setting the culture, right? It's
Serving.
being willing to stand up and do the right thing. It's frustrating when people don't give that the honor maybe it deserves. But
Absolutely, man. I agree.
hey, it's time real quick. Great question. It's perfect, Mr. Castle. Hey guys, I got your Remnant Roulette winners. If you're on here, don't fret if you're not number one, because the person has to be on to win. You have 3 minutes. Kaylee, you have won. I always say her last
Kaylee
name,
won.
Enyart.
First she trolled me, now she gets a prize.
Kaylee, if you're on, you win. Let us know. You have until 9:40. If not, we move on to our second winner. 9:40. I might do a second winner anyway. Greg says, AJ.
Appreciate you, Greg. Thank you so much.
Dude, there's so much. I love your heart too, man. Hey, Justin, what's up, man? If you're still on.
Why does AJ have a soda pop between his legs? Because I was trying to wait for a good time to open it, Jordan.
There's no good
which
time.
is now.
Did she call it a soda pop?
She
What
did
are we,
call it a soda pop.
1920? Hey, go down to the sack hop.
Hey there, you got yourself a soda pop?
All right, hey, we're going to go with our second winner because I'm a crazy man. Bessie Carver. Bessie Carver.
Bessie.
You have until... actually, Amber, you're constantly mocking me that you don't get your prize because this is actually entirely Todd's fault. I told the guys that I actually financed the gift myself that week because it was triple prize. So thank you for shaming me multiple times. I will get that to you as soon as possible. Please forgive me. In the meantime, Bessie Carver, you have until 9:41, or I move on to my next person. So you just got to say I'm here, or I claim a prize, or whatever. Hey, Holly.
Hello.
Dude, sometimes I think about a conversation we had a while ago where we were running the store at the softball games and a kid wanted something and I think you just gave it to him. And I think of that when you're giving out the prize. You're like, I want to give you all a prize.
It's true. It's true.
Dude, so this is just a little side story real quick. So my mom played fast pitch softball up until I was probably like 7 or 8. So when I was like 5, my brother, who was 4 years older than me, so he was like 9. Well, we used to both be in the concession stand and we'd help whenever we could. And dude, I was like the most savage little 5-year-old like concession worker. Like, be like, it's $5. like, dude, I was in, bro. Like, I'm telling you right now.
Hey, real quick, because I think this is such a serious question. If the person on here right now that's watching that talks about trauma that relates to a person, can you please? I won't give names or anything, but I do need more details to be able to give you a real answer on that. So can you please tell me what you mean specifically,
Yes.
so that I can answer that question? Because I think it's a very real question. I think it's really brave of you to ask it, but I need a little more details to be able to give you good direction on that. So if you're the person that asked about trauma, please let me know. Go ahead and use the link at www.theremnant.live/real-talk. And I promise you, I'm the only one that's going to see that right now.
It's true.
And put in some more detail so I will make it generic when I answer the question, but I do want to answer it for you.
Cool.
Here we go. What's your biggest regret? And I'm going to send this to him. He'll put it up. Wait, boy, we got to keep moving, don't we? Oh,
Did
actually,
we ever get any winners?
Yeah,
Bessie-
we got
Bessie
they
said
both
yes.
won.
Okay.
Kaylee did too.
Somehow I missed.
Hey
it.
guys,
I don't
what's
know
your
what it was.
biggest regret in the past 5 years? On the flip side, what's your most proud accomplishment in the last 5 years?
Mine are related to one another.
Nice.
Awesome.
Well, go ahead if you're ready.
Yeah, go for it.
My biggest regret would be living with my wife before we were married. I was.
Hey guys, if you're online, hop off because they're having a delay. Go ahead.
I was very new to my faith and still under the impression that you live together if you were together. And we did some things, and I mean there were consequences to our sins. And then my biggest victory or success,
Yeah.
for the last 4 months or so of our dating life, we separated. I became a Line Street boy for a little bit. No, but yeah, these guys took me in, and
Amen, Luke.
it's a big part of my testimony. I mean, and why I've come as far as I have, because Peyton and I took this step together to just doing the right thing.
A serious commitment, man. I remember this. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was awesome to watch you do that. You know, and I think it gives you a really cool testimony that like people can't go, you don't know what it's like. You go, yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it was tough, right? Once you'd already had that connection,
And-
but you also saw the benefits of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a better man because of that.
Yeah, and it helped your relationship really, even through the hard times. Chris Courtney says AJ doesn't get better than Rochester ballpark concessions, free slush for foul
Oh
balls.
man, yeah, dude. They would come over, and I'm gonna even do a little ad on here because it was catch that go fetch that foul ball for a free slushy or small coke. What do you guys think I would get? Small coke.
Coke.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Never got a slushy. It was always
I
got the
assume
small
we're
coke.
more
for me.
alike than most people want to admit.
Let's see here. Biggest regret in the last 5 years, man.
Would it be dyeing your hair blonde?
Absolutely not.
Did that in time for my wedding.
I would say probably the biggest regret I'd have in the last 5 years was letting myself accept the fact that life was meaningless. Because that's what I did, man. Back before I was a believer, I just kind of accepted the fact that life was meaningless, and it just kind of made me think like I'm just waiting to die. And so, yeah, man, that kind of just led me to a bad place. So that's probably my biggest regret. Now, biggest accomplishment, man, is preaching my first sermon. Because I remember the very beginning stages of even thinking like, hey, maybe I can do this. Maybe God's calling me to something bigger that I'm scared of, and I ran away from for a long time. And to see that kind of go full circle and have the opportunity to do that is very surreal. And I thought it probably would have never happened. Like I knew, hello Siri. I knew that when I first was told that I was going to have the opportunity, like I knew it was realistic. Like I knew it could happen, but it's one of those things where you don't believe it until you're actually there. So yeah, man, that's definitely my biggest accomplishment for sure.
Did
You know,
awesome,
honestly,
too.
even just doing this show, we're almost 100 episodes into doing this show. That's insane to me. So being a part of something that's been so consistent over the past couple years, and just seeing where it started as just an idea, and then with a camera phone to all this that you guys don't get to see, but it's wild, man. I would have never thought I'd be part of anything like it. So
How cool that so many of those comments have been a part of the whole ride with you too.
yeah, it's crazy, man.
Person that answered the question about trauma, can you tell me, are you saying someone within the church did that to you or remind you of that? Like, I just need a little more info because I want to be very honest, but I know you're probably trying to protect someone. You can trust me. I won't say anything. I need to. It's a serious question, and I can't answer it without having more detail. So please, try to, someone. You're saying someone did this to you. Be as specific as you can. If you don't want to give names, that's okay. www.theremnant.life/real-talk. If you want to give names, certainly you can. I can tell you right now that
It'll remain anonymous.
yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, Chris. 100 is no joke, man. I would have never. When we first started this, we were like, if you go back and look at episode 1, it's funny because Todd even says like, I don't know if this is going to be a one-time deal or what. And here we are.
Yeah.
2 weeks away from 100. So that's wild, dude.
Hey, Janice.
Hello.
Janice. I don't know why I said Janice. I'm a weirdo. probably pronounced Janice.
Dude, you were answering that question so seriously, and I almost started laughing because I
Who,
thought
me?
about when you dyed your hair blonde.
Thanks, Norman.
Yeah.
And made me think of Ryan from The Office when he dyed his hair blonde, and I don't know, just Ryan was like the coolest character, just like you were.
Honestly,
And-
dude, I don't regret dyeing my hair blonde because it was something I always wanted to try, and so I did it and I rocked it for a while, and now that was that. So
I absolutely love people's biggest regrets and failures even. I love seeing like Kelsey. That's so cool. Proud of you. That's awesome. Regret not being the word like I used to. Accomplishment, trusting God. Biggest regret, isolation of emotions. Big success, breaking down those barriers. Amen. James, proud of you, buddy. The biggest accomplishment, breaking down those walls. That's crazy. You guys both have very similar. Hi, Abby.
it's very cool. It's cool to see what you guys are, willing to share. I love it. Jordan says, Todd, can we have a church dog?
Listen, I'd love to have
She's
a
asked
church
that
dog.
3 times on this stream.
Gosh dang it. As long as we name him, it's got to begin with an R because it's going to be, like let's say his name is Robo.
Call him Real Dog.
Robo the Remnant Dog.
Hey, I got your response person. If at this point, again, this is just me that's seen this. If you could, do you go to this church? And if so, do you go to this church? So I'm trying to fill out so I can answer you better. Do you go to the Remnant? Is this the church you're taught, or like just someone in this church, and you don't really go here, but you want to? Let me know so I can give you an answer. And again, you can trust me. I'm the only one who sees this,
Yep.
even with a name. If something happened like that, I certainly want to know. All right, moving on real quick. I do want to get to your segment, but we got a lot of questions.
I love the questions, man.
Thoughts on restricting media like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, etc. because of, quote, magic. I grew up with a lot of people who weren't allowed to watch or read these types of mediums until they're out of the house and the parents did not know or had to sneak it as kids.
So
Rottweiler. I like that.
Personally, I didn't grow up in the church, so I just watched whatever. You guys know that. I was like 5 years old watching Tommy Boy. So, so.
So much.
Yeah, I know, right? So, personally, I don't see it as a big deal. It kind of goes back. We've had questions similar to this as far as like rated R movies and stuff like that. I think, and Todd mentioned this earlier with going back to when we were talking about birth control, is I think it's all about personal convictions. Live out of your convictions. If you feel like watching Harry Potter is going to make you sin somehow, or it's going to make you like in like a weird mindset where you think like you can like magic is, you can, I don't know, who knows? I can't even think of anything. But, if you feel personal conviction from it, don't watch it. But don't condemn others who don't feel conviction for it. Because, at the end of the day, it's entertainment. If the entertainment's too much for you, then don't watch it. That's what I got.
Yeah, I think it goes back to last week's sermon even a little bit because personal convictions, don't get that confused with truth. Because who is anybody to say whether it's good or bad for somebody to watch? Because I can watch a movie about a killer clown without becoming one.
Right.
Bad analogy probably, but at the same time, maybe some people have drinking issues or something and they see a movie with drinking.
Sure.
So it's just about recognizing what you can and can't watch.
Absolutely.
Be real with yourself about it.
Thank you, Candace.
Yeah. I would agree with that. The only thing I would add to it is if you... Sorry, I'm getting...
No, yeah, it's all right.
I would say if you're under... if you're still living in your parents' home, you need to respect that.
That's good.
I didn't even think about that.
And honor your parents in that way. And if you try to have conversation with them, but at the end of the day, part of following God means, you don't always have to agree, but you need to try to honor your parents because that's what God says to do.
It's good.
Hey, person that I'm having this conversation with, could you let me know who you are and who this was? Or I would say in this case, I think that it depends. Was it dealt with in the past? Has it been dealt with? Or is this something that's never been dealt with? If it's never been dealt with, I mean, it certainly should be dealt with. Was it illegal? Those types of things are the types of things that you have to, that kind of help know what direction to go in. Because then it's a matter of forgiveness versus a matter of right and wrong. if that makes sense. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
appreciate your honesty. I know that's tough. And those of you watching, I know I'm having a dialogue inside the show, but hey, I would love to be able to help you in this and walk it through. I just need a little more info.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on.
Moving on.
Try to do maybe a couple more. I do want to talk about. They saw that I accidentally liked their page and then quit. Hey, this person said. Okay, I'll go with this. What's your favorite cartoon growing up?
Favorite cartoon growing up? Oh man, SpongeBob. Easily SpongeBob.
That's
Still
true,
love
Luke.
SpongeBob.
Goes
SpongeBob.
back to.
Mine's not SpongeBob. I like the Fairly Odd Parents.
That's a good one too.
Nickelodeon, I guess, is just a common theme. There's a lot that I don't think about, and then when I see them again, I'm like, oh yeah, like Dave the Barbarian. I like that show.
Dave,
I remember that.
Dave the Barbarian.
Yeah.
Cool. Keep them coming, guys. This person said, I asked the COVID question earlier, and I didn't mean to make it bad or make you feel bad. I didn't take it that way.
No.
You have done a great job with the COVID response! Exclamation point! Thank you
thank
so
you.
much. I just wanted to know if one day you would enforce the mask. I don't anticipate that ever happening. It's not just my call, but I don't anticipate that ever happening, and that would never be my my
Intention.
decision. Yeah, I don't anticipate that happening. Do you ever fall into the trap of living in your, quote, nothing box, end quote, or avoid contemplating your problems? Nothing box meaning the space in your head that you go to when you don't want to think about things.
I've definitely been there. Absolutely. I think I can go
Heck
through
yeah.
different periods of
Teenage Mutant
time.
Ninja Turtles. Sorry, go on.
Oh, nice.
The original. No, I'm just trying to make the focus the guys. What?
Yeah, I definitely say I've been there before. Absolutely. You know, there's things that have happened in my life where I, can tend to, brush over them and just kind of, shove them down and suppress them. And then, like, I guess the nothing box, like they said, you just kind of gloss over it. And, eventually, over time, I think, in the past, I've realized, like, okay, this is still affecting me. I got to deal with this. And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But, yeah, that's something I want to get better at. But yes, that I can relate to that.
You?
I don't think that I struggle with this one so much anymore.
That's good.
I did for a long time. I think Lionheart helped me a lot with it. Realizing that if you try to deal with it alone, you're gonna fall again, whatever it is. There's a reason that we're told to carry each other's burdens.
Amen.
Absolutely.
But I think I did go through that for a long time because of pride or whatever, insecurity mostly. But getting over it was really refreshing, and now I know I can message one of my guys at any time and
Absolutely.
talk
dude.
about it.
I can tell you, that's awesome, dude. That you see both you guys grow. I'm not just saying this. I don't have that box.
Which is
I always
good.
say I'm kind of a girl. Apparently, it's embarrassing because I guess a lot of guys do. Like even girls will be like, I know guys have them. Like I don't have that. If anything, I'm the opposite, where I'm overthinking everything.
Yes.
And my mind doesn't shut off. That's part of why I have a hard time sleeping. So no, I do not have that.
Which is good.
Yeah. Well, sometimes. I'm never harsh with you, Chris. I miss you, man. I really do love that guy. Now, this question I'm not going to put up. It says, what gets you guys butthurt? What an interesting...
This was Kaylee.
You think?
10,000%.
Okay.
Yeah.
When people use the term butthurt... Anyway. Person asked the question about trauma. I would love to have this conversation with just me and you if you want to keep posting this, because I feel like now at this point I really do want to help you. But even that, I'm so thankful you're being honest with me. You can trust me. I can promise you that. Or I can put you in touch with someone. But I want to walk you through that, and it shows your heart that you want to deal with it. But it's one of those things. It's hard to have that discussion with you, out of respect for you. So keep talking to me here. I'm seeing it. I would love to to have a real conversation with you about it, even if it's through messaging, and work that out for you. Because I'm with you, and you're not alone in that. I have a question here that.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Go for you. Well, let's move on. I'll keep going. I really do want to get to yours. I appreciate the fact that you like the questions, though.
Oh
I
yeah.
love it, man.
What's your opinion on young relationships in the church? How long do you think you should be dating till marriage?
I think we answer this last week or the week before. I know we've answered a question like this that was
I
similar.
think during Grant's testimony, you guys went over it. because he talked about feeling the pressure as a young man.
Yeah, quick question or easy answer. Yeah, me too, Aunt Bessie's completely. Is it weird for you, Bessie, to see me called Todd because they know me as LT?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this quick, guys, because we have talked about it. I think we actually just answered this in
That's
the
what I
web
thought.
series, Real
Okay,
Talk 2.
that's where it was.
Bottom line is, it's one of those things that you got to ask yourself, if you're not getting married, if you're young relationships, that's hard for me to answer because I don't know if you're meaning high school or whatever.
Right.
If you're meaning after high school as an adult, what's your reason for waiting? And if your reason for waiting is someone's in college, you're long distance or whatever, but if you're together, why would you not? And if there's a reason, then the purpose of dating should be marriage. And if that's
Absolutely.
not going to go there, then you shouldn't be in it. Yeah, she said it's weird for me. That's what I figured. She probably knows my dad is Todd.
The hot button topic around here, though.
Yeah, and I get that. And it's one of those things where it's kind of do as I say, not as I necessarily do, which I've admitted, right? I'm pretty honest about that.
Absolutely.
All right. I do want to answer this question because it keeps getting brought up. Do you have the, maybe I have it, the one about the lady from last week?
I do. I have that
Go
one.
ahead and tell them the number so you can put it up there and I'll just answer it.
I think it says number 2. I think it's number 2. Just give it like a 2 to you.
Just point it to me. I'll tell you in 4 seconds.
Yes.
Yes, it's a 2.
Okay. Couldn't tell if it was good 2 or 7. Number 2.
This past Thursday, there was a woman on the live show. Is she single? And then, as far as I know, no. So, no, she is not. Big compliment to her. I definitely understand why you would ask that. Pretty, loves God, funny, awesome girl.
Yeah.
A lot of positive feelings for her.
Secondary question: why didn't you ask her?
Probably because he wants to be respectable. Because as you know, as a guy, and they even asked a second, said, "I promise I'm not a stalker." Like people tend to think guys are weirdos
Yeah.
just for asking, right? Ladies, if a guy approaches you and asks you if you're single or anything like that, and he does it in a respectful way, please don't make him feel like a creep or a weirdo.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
what do you want him to do? Like, should he just stare at you longingly? And then, you got to understand that in the modern world, they say, I want a guy that's up front. Well, when they do, you make him feel uncomfortable.
Yep.
It made me sad that they even said, I promise I'm not a stalker. Mandy was on the show, Candace. So, that's that. I do feel for him because you can't really ask. Because
Yep.
you immediately look like a weirdo, as opposed to it should be a compliment,
Right.
right?
Absolutely should be.
Been almost 7 years, and I asked Peyton just for a number, and she thought I was a creep. So I get it.
Yeah.
It's what a weird world, huh?
Another topic I wouldn't be politically correct on, so I pass.
Pass. Mandy says you're literally in my profile picture, Todd, but she's flattered.
Well, no one knew that though at the time when you
Sure.
were on here.
You've been in my profile picture once.
It did not mean the same thing. Okay, so hey guys, keep asking your questions. If you didn't get, man, we have so many great ones. I do want to take a second, move on to our next segment, getting to know.
That's right.
Brandon's a cool guy. I want to give him an opportunity, and it's been a popular segment. Stick around with us. I know we're going long. We'll try to end the show no later than 10:30, maybe probably earlier. So don't go, oh my gosh, I got to be in bed. Stick around. It's good stuff. So Brandon, typically what we do, and depends on the person because I don't want to put you on the spot, but what we've kind of done is just allow people to tell them who you are. And what that sound, people go, what does that mean, Todd? It's really your story. When does it start for you, and kind of give them who, tell us who you are, get to know you.
Oh, all right.
Maybe start with where you're at now, or not. Actually, you do wherever you want.
So, I would have started this completely different 3 days ago.
Wow.
But things have changed in my life recently in a very exciting way. So if I start out, I was 8 years old, and it sounds ridiculous that I have to bring this part up to remember it, but it's whatever. The Pistons just lost to the Spurs in a 7-game series to lose the finals. They would have repeated, but whatever. My dad, I was with my dad. This is my last summer with him as a kid before things went south in our relationship. And he had to go off for the Army for something, so I was visiting him for the summer and stuck with his wife. So it was ridiculous. But she sent me to church camp that summer. And that's the summer that I said the prayer. And I like to say that I was just a kid saying things, but there's been too many moments in my life that point to otherwise. So moving forward from that, I hadn't talked to her. Her name's Karen. I hadn't talked to her since then, because I feel like I have bad memories of that summer, probably just because it was my last summer with my dad. And then my dad came back into my life my freshman year, and by this point I was already in my third high school, getting to know friends. Actually, fourth. I was already in my fourth high school by
That's tough, man. For
Yeah,
real.
that's a lot of
winter of
moving.
my freshman
That's
year.
really tough.
Played football for 3 of them already. It was a very confusing year for me. And then my dad came back into my life, and I remembered that he had a daughter, and with Karen, and I asked him, and if this is me putting his story out there, I'm sorry if it makes you uncomfortable, but I'm a pretty raw guy, so he had told me that he didn't talk to her or whatever, and that he didn't believe she was his. So moving forward from that, I kind of just accepted that for a long time.
Yeah.
Even though I knew the truth. So then I moved more and more and more. I became so far from the spirit because the things that were around me, all the constant cussing and drinking and moving, and I love my mom to death, and I think she did an awesome job raising me, but we were in a lot of different houses when I was in high school with a few different guys, and that's nothing to shame her. She did an awesome job raising me, like I said. It's just, it did take an impact on me as to who I was.
Yeah.
Not having a consistent male role model in my life. With the exception of my grandpa, but even that was few and far between. So then I got to my junior year, and I was all about basketball at this point. It was my God, and it's not even close. I eat, sleep, breathe, Mamba mentality. I mean, to be the best, you have to do it, right? So I did it, and then I got terribly hurt my junior year, and it ended my basketball career effective immediately. At least anything serious with it. I'm 6'1" and white, not that it would have been anything special anyways, but so then I moved to my final high school, and I got into partying and sleeping with anybody that I could. Wasn't
Yeah.
and this isn't to glorify it, it's more to say how far I've come in
Yeah,
recognizing that
absolutely.
that was a mistake. Then my dad and I had somewhat of a relationship at that point, and he, when I turned 18, he invited me to stay at his place because he said he had a job opportunity and all this stuff, and I was so sick of moving around at that point that I just wanted something stable. And so I got to know him a little bit better at 18 because I moved there and got to live with him. I wouldn't say I exactly liked the results either, but that's neither here nor there. After I moved here, like 3 days after my grandma had surgery, if you've ever heard my sermon, it's a part of it, but I didn't get to say bye to her because I was trying not to make her worry.
Yeah.
And she didn't ever wake up from the surgery, and that sucks. And then, so that made me mad at God and mad at, like, coincidence. So I got worse. I mean, my language was uncontrolled. I was just a corpse at that point. And this is where things got interesting in my life, a little more steady, if you will. And I don't put her on such a high pedestal because I don't want people to think that I worship her, but I met my wife not long after my grandma died, and she took me to the church, and I didn't work out in the long run, but that church led to me meeting Todd at football, led to me finding out about the remnant. My wife she's such a big part of my life and my testimony, and she brought me back, whether or not she realizes it. And then people always tell me, like, that I've touched them and brought them back or whatever. Like, I hear these things from people, and I'm like, thank Peyton for that, because I was just the middleman. And then after I found the remnant, I've obviously grown a lot since I've been here. I say I believed when I got here, but I was just so curious and I had all the questions. So I like asked everything, and I think it annoyed some people, but it
It annoyed
excited
me, man.
others.
Yeah.
So moving forward 3 or 4 years, I'm so firm in my faith right now. It's real because it has to be real. Nothing else makes sense. Like I said, I preached a sermon just like AJ did this year or last year. And that was, the only thing I want to do while I'm here is to spread the word. And I feel like teaching or preaching might be the way to do that. But even if it's not, I'm going to do my part. So then I said I would have changed it. This is where it changes from a few days ago. I was just playing a D&D type game with my friends on Monday night, and I got a friend request from a girl who I had no mutual friends with. And if you're a guy, you know what that means. That's a site that you don't want to accept, usually. I seen that she had more pictures than just one, though, and I was just going to ask all my friends, do you recognize this girl? And then I see my message request, and this is just God showing off again, because I was wondering just on Sunday what's more of this earth, because there has to be more while I'm here, other than just, being here and dying, right? Yeah. And she messaged me. I seen it in my message request, and it turns out that from 16 years ago, when I was spending the summer with my dad, I have this. There's this picture of me holding a baby, and that baby is my sister, who has reached out to me after 16 years.
Wild, man.
Cool, man.
To create a relationship with me. And I mean, it's right when I feel like I've run out of stuff to do or whatever, which is ridiculous on its own. But I now get this opportunity to grow a relationship with her, and I love that God shows off right when I need him to all the time. And I hate that I forget about it so quickly.
Yeah, me too, man.
Or don't think about it. So now I'm just trying to be the best I can be all the time. I mentioned Mamba mentality earlier. I really do carry that with me in life. I want to be the best at everything I do. Whether it's being a dad, managing a Taco Bell, whatever it is, I want to be the best. And but I do it in a kind of nonchalant way. You wouldn't know I'm super competitive unless you're right next to me in sports, because I talk trash pretty quietly. Yep. But I hope that explains me a little bit. I mean, there's obviously more, but
Sure. Heard you a little bit. Kelsey says, I don't know about you, but that's amazing. I don't know you, but that's amazing. This is the testimony I pray for my siblings. I have 6 brothers, and this is what I pray for them. Allie says, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Brandon. Yeah, Brandon, and I'll talk about this in a second. Your mom is a heart. What if you were talking to one person out there today who they come to you and you go, I know who they say Jesus is, right? Tell me why. Why do you follow him? What has he done for you? Who is Jesus?
As generic as it sounds, Jesus is the waymaker for me.
It's not generic, man. It's powerful.
Yeah, so I think about after my grandma died, and when Peyton and I were having sex before marriage, and I was doing all these things that I shouldn't have been doing, and then all of a sudden I look in this book, and there's the way that you're supposed to do things, and he laid it out for me. He made this way for me. He made it so clear for me, black and white. People always, I kind of get teased for it because I do have a black and white mentality or view on the Bible where it's either real or it's not completely, and it's all just right there. He's a waymaker, and even if you want to go a step further into the song, he is a miracle worker, and I'm proof of that.
Yeah, that's good, man. Amen.
When I was in Saginaw, Michigan, 989 represent. I had some brothers with me, a band of brothers, if you will, kind of like what you guys are for me. And 2 of them have died since I left in drive-by shootings or just drug overdose or something. And how easily it could have been me had I not just said to a man who I barely knew, yeah, I'll live with you. So waymaker.
Amen, brother. Yeah, man, and I love you, dude. I'm so proud of you. Brandon's definitely. I don't know if you don't know Brandon, you go to the church, come say hi to him. He is exactly what you're seeing here. He's fire. He's being he's very bold when it comes to Jesus, and he believes everything he says, and
Yeah.
he's radical and in a good way. And I'm so thankful for you, dude. You made a huge difference in my life, just knowing you. Your encouragement, your support, your passion for God and His Word. It's just awesome. So we love you, man. Appreciate you.
I love you guys a whole lot, and I wish I could do more to show it because these words aren't always enough, right?
Dude, I say
I
that
get
all
that.
the time.
Yeah, for real, I get that.
Also, so thank you so much, man, and thank you for being willing to come on here when you got a wife and kids. He just got off work pretty much directly
I am
before he
in
came.
my Taco Bell shirt
Yeah.
right now.
And man, like, listen, I think what you said kind of ties with James, and James wouldn't say that, but I want to say it to him too. You know, oh, that's really cool. Brandon's amazing, man. So proud of you, and so glad you found Peyton. It's cool.
Love you, Ma.
Yeah, and thank you, Sherry, because you did a good job. You had a part in making this guy, like, I don't mean
Absolutely.
just physically, like who he is as a man. However, I want to say something to you and James. You know, it doesn't matter, like where you work. I like what he said earlier. You're on a mission. You know, your life is mission, and don't let anyone make you feel less than because of where you work or what you do. Right? That's honor, and that's kingdom work. And as you go, so we don't need more. We don't. Truth is, not everybody's going to be a pastor. We don't need more of those. Sometimes we need more Christians in fast food. We need more Christians in finance. We need more
true, man.
Christians in business. There's an old saying, you know, I've said this to you guys before. I don't remember who said it, but so we don't need more Christian music. We need more Christians in music. They were talking about Christian music. So
Yep.
that's it, man. So you're doing it. Ambassador to Christ. So appreciate you, dude. If you guys have any questions for Brandon or interact with him, same for you, James. Proud of you too, brother. Love you. And Sherry says she's so proud. John gives a heart. Hey, if you guys have any questions for him, go ahead and slide them in here real quick. I'm going to check and see if we have any others.
All right.
And otherwise, we'll call it a day. It's been a great show.
Absolutely, man. I've really enjoyed being on today. You guys are awesome.
I love this.
Yeah, dude, it's a blessing, man. It's super cool what what's going on here. It's something that doesn't happen.
No, it really doesn't, and often emulated, but never repeated. So
I got one here that says, why do you think men do such horrible things to women? I don't know. I think, I don't know. Sin and brokenness.
Yeah,
and
sin
depends
for
on
sure.
the person, you know. Sometimes it's evil. Sometimes it's people that do evil things.
That's right.
I got so defensive when the question was asked. In
'Cause
my
you think
head,
it's at a shot at it,
in
at
my
us.
head, I'm like, why do you guys hurt us? But
Yeah, but I think overall, this might be the person that asked the other question.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard for me to go into your question because I don't have a lot of details, and even so, I don't want you to think if you're listening that I'm ignoring your question. I'm not. I can't speak into it if you're not willing to give me more.
Yeah.
I really need to know the situation, and even if it's not on camera, so that I can help you because I don't know how to help you without knowing the details. So, as far as dealing with trauma, because if it's connected. So anyway, why it's the same reason some women do horrible things to men.
yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's sin and selfishness and all that stuff. Hey, we're getting a lot of cool comments for you, Brandon. So you should be encouraged, man.
Thank you guys.
But anyway, I want you to know if you're listening, person, that I do care. It says, how does God, that kind of goes along with this, how does God allow someone to go through something traumatic? You know?
Yeah, I mean, God is bigger. God understands more than we understand ourselves.
Yes.
And like you said, with sin in the world, man, things are gonna happen, and I think God can use terrible situations, and He can make beauty out of it.
Yes.
You know, I don't share this a lot. I haven't shared it on camera because I'm kind of the same as you, where you said I don't want to hurt a certain family. But, I've been through, it's hard for me, trauma myself.
Yeah.
It's not sexual, it's physical. And it was bad, and I'm being real with you. The guys know this. They know my story. Like, it was bad, really bad. The kind that, like, that if I told you guys, you wouldn't, it's the stuff you see in movies. I lived a lot of my life in fear. So I have asked I remember praying one time in worship while I was in worship that frustration of these moments. And I saw flashbacks of these moments where things were happening. And I asked myself where, I did. I don't mean to be dramatic, but where were you, God? And it'll make me cry thinking about it. It was one of those times in my spirit where I without seeing me, in every moment, it was like I was there. I was there. God's crying and doesn't want those things to happen to you. And here's the thing about God. We live in a broken world.
Yep.
Yes.
And we've talked about this many times. You can't have free will without the possibility of brokenness
That's good.
and evil people. But here's the beauty, and I think Candace just said it. The beauty is that God takes that trauma and He makes it a testimony.
That's right.
And God takes that brokenness and He makes it a trophy, and he makes it glory because people are
I
going to
love
look at you
that.
and you're going to relate to people. You're going to be able to speak into people's lives. You're going to be able to help people that have went through similar things, and you're going to be able to say, I wasn't broken, right? That's my God.
I love that.
And that's who you are. And you don't have to be identified by your trauma and by your brokenness or by your abuse. You're more than that. And you need to not even, and this sounds crazy, we live in a world where the world wants you to be identified by your trauma. They want you to take your identity from that. That is not who you are. That is what happened to you.
Yes.
So you said, should I pray? Absolutely pray. Pray God brings healing to your heart. Find people that you can share with and talk to and, process with. I love your heart, if this is the same person, because it seems like you don't want to drag anyone's name through the mud or all that kind of stuff, which is pretty cool because it shows like, I don't think it's out of fear. You just don't want to do that. But if it's something illegal or wrong or it's never been dealt with, then that needs to be dealt with.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway.
It's good, man. I like that. God takes your pain and makes it, he can turn it into a trophy. I love that.
Turn it into a trophy. You don't have to be that way. You don't have to live in that. What do you do with flashbacks like that? It's funny you said that. I have them sometimes, and sometimes I respond to people. So this just came up. Guys here might have known it. Might have seen it. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but you can speak to it. When someone gets really, really loud at me or explodes on me, I can't explain it. And because I'm a fighter by nature, I can go from 0 to 100 because I think I'm about to get hit mode.
Yep.
And I'm used to that. And so I'll have those moments, and it usually happens in the heat of the moment. You guys have seen it in sports. And I can tell you this, God, having people to talk to and counseling, if you've never done it, counseling is good.
Yes.
But with that also, prayer, God moves.
Yep.
And, I pray. Prayer is not a fake thing. It's not like just wishful thinking. Prayer is asking the God of the universe to intervene in your life in a situation.
Truth, man.
So it's that's my advice to you. I do have those flashbacks, and that's why I guess I wanted to share that. I've never shared it on a public thing like this, but it's not the same, but it is in a way because it does affect how you interact. Mine affects my relationships, my friendships. The guys here can all tell you I've confessed. There's times I respond to them in a way that isn't their fault. I'm about to get emotional right now because I know it, and you feel guilt. Sometimes you feel guilt even saying it because you can look at the person and say, that's not a bad person, but they did bad things to me.
Yeah.
And that's a great step to take too. That's so good, James. Some of the worst times of my life. Sometimes I think it's so bad with men to women because it's complete opposite of God intended that relationship to be. Then he knows what he's doing. Love you guys. Have an amazing. Thanks, Haley. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you being vulnerable, dude. I know it's not
man.
easy.
It is hard for me. If we're gonna be real, that's hard for me because it feels like weakness, and it feels like there's still a part of me that thinks that you minimize it. But when I tell you guys, it wasn't until I had really good friends in high school where they were talking like, "Hey," I was like, "Hey, remember like when this happens to you?" And they're kidding. They're like, "No, man, like that's not normal."
Yep.
I don't mean to laugh. I just think
No, it is funny. I tell them funny because it was a funny moment when I look back on it. If you could see, I can still see their faces going, "No, man, that's not normal."
like the way Shrewd explaining a holiday or something.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey,
life
keep fighting a
a
good
lot.
fight. Good stuff. I want to make sure we didn't get any other sliding in here.
Dude, I think about what you said in those hurts and the song Never Lost. At the end of the music video, Torrin Wells says, not only does God never lose a battle, but he never wastes a battle.
Oh, man, that's so
And
good.
He talks about when they were walking around the walls of Jericho, and they lifted a shout of praise to him, and the walls fell. And it says some scholars say that when the walls fell, it created a way into the city for them. And so you just talk to God. He wants to be there, and when you talk to him, he's going to use this battle you're going through in this hard time, and he's going to use it as a way for you to get into what you're supposed to be into. He's going to use this hard time to give you what you need.
And to shape you. I wrote, this sounds so corny probably. I'm going to show that I'm a nerd. But, I wrote a poem about this kind of once called Forged. And that's the way I look at it. God used that to forge me. And, if you know anything about forging weapons and swords, it goes into heat and there's beating. But what comes out is stronger and better. And that can be who you are. And I think that goes kind of what you're saying too. And I love that. I love the idea of, a battle's not wasted. It's good. Thanks, Cadence. I appreciate that. Candace, I know what you're like. Like I said, you're my sister from another mister. Next question I just got. Ironic considering the topic.
Yeah.
Todd, has he got it for me? This is specific. We got an AJ one, now we got a Todd one. Todd, do you like hugs? Would you hug a person? These are two different questions. I would say, I will tell you this, and I think you want to talk about trauma. I don't mean to make it about it. Because of that, physical touch is weird to me.
Yep.
I'm very, like, believe it or not, sensitive to it. But absolutely, I'll hug you. I'll hug you. Absolutely. Now, if you're a lady, you know, don't make me feel like a weirdo. If you come up to hug me and I hug you, don't make me feel like a weirdo. So I absolutely will hug you. Do I like hugs? You know what? I'm growing more comfortable with them. But I promise you this, I won't make you feel weird if you come up for a hug.
Oh yeah, I hug them all the time.
Yeah, I hug people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to say I'll hug you, but don't just hug me.
Just come up and immediately hug you.
But don't just hug me, because I love being just held. It's true.
I love hugs, man. I'll hug anybody.
Hey, there you go. Good times. All right.
Good times.
People probably think that we're not like this. We used to sit up until 4 a.m. in an apartment, just having these kind of
Thank you, man.
conversations.
Bessie, I'm always praying about my anger. You know, Bessie, that's true, dude. People don't realize that part. Like, we really do have real talk.
Yep.
Bessie, that's something I wrestled with too. The person talking about trauma, you know, I think for a long time I dealt with it through anger, through being violent. You know, I was that kid that I punched and stuff, and that's real. You know, I was a fighter growing up, and I'm proud. I can tell you this, testimony of God. You know, the guys will know this. Like, that's not who I am anymore.
So weird that you're surrounded by two of the most passive people that you've probably ever met in your life.
Yeah, okay. And
At least me.
Well, I'm pretty passive.
Todd, you mentioned having a hard time sleeping sometimes. What do you do in those times? Prayer, positive thoughts, just wiping thoughts clean. I sometimes wake up with the worst anxiety. Dude, Chris, I'm exactly the same way. There are times I can fall asleep and I'll immediately wake up and I'm anxious and I can't go back to sleep. If I'm honest, man, I've taken melatonin. I take sleep aids. I read. Reading helps me. And honestly, man, there's no shame in going to the doctor if you need something to, because what I found that helped me is I was like, oh, I can deal with my stress.
Yeah,
Anxiety is
sleep meds.
different. It can be a physical response sometimes, and you need something to just kind of take that off.
Sure.
So if it gets bad enough, but definitely try melatonin if you've never tried it.
I took melatonin one time.
It's really, it's really good.
You're so excited about
Chris says
Dude,
if you
knock
haven't
me
hugged
out,
AJ,
man.
you haven't lived. Sydney says, appreciate it. Thanks, Sid. Bessie says, I'm a hugger. I hate hugs. That's real talk. Hey, Elizabeth, if you're still on. Someone from high school that probably would not believe that I am where I'm at today. Every now and then I see her picture pop up, and I was like, I wonder what she would say. Elizabeth, if you're on, sorry if I was ever a jerk to you in high school. I was. I know I was. I'm serious.
I love how
was.
raw you are, man.
How many shows did we end up with, Blake?
31 shares.
Nice,
Trying to
31.
break records out here.
Candace, I am praying for you so much, sister. I will definitely do that.
I think we've had like 30, 35, maybe 40.
Kelsey, I relate.
I'm gonna go share 4 times.
That's really awesome that you have it
I didn't
helps to
see
have.
what Candace said.
She just said that she had about to showing affection or saying love is weird for me. It's something I'm working on with my husband and siblings. We didn't grow up saying I love you. My husband likes to hold hands, always tell me thank you, I love you. It feels so weird, but it make a point to tell my kids I love them 1,000 times a day. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
What do you say to people who are all about this being the last days we are living in?
I mean, I could see
That's
why.
awesome. Thank you for praying.
I can see why they'd think so, man. It's getting pretty wild. Clearly, I'm not an expert in any kind. I have read Revelation. Okay.
Seriously.
No, but on a real note, yeah, I could see why people would think that. As far as do I think it is, I don't know, man. That's if I put myself in a position that I think I'm in the end times, I'm probably just gonna sink into an anxious tirade and never see anybody ever again. So I don't want to even think about that. I want to live, and even the Bible says like you'll least expect it. Just be ready. That's what it says. Live like it could happen any moment. So
Man, I hope not. And man, I hope so.
I get
get
it.
that. Yeah. I would. This is true. I think again, I feel like I always have to preface it. I don't think about it too much. I mean, every now and then. Here's the deal. This is what I would say to someone. The actual question was, what do you say to someone? You already know the end of the story.
That's
And
true.
if you're with Christ, you don't need to be anxious. You know the end of the story. If that's exactly what Chris said. If you're not right, you can't say 100% that you're with Christ, then you need to make that right, and you can do that tonight.
Yep.
Bible says if you confess with your lips and believe in your heart that Jesus Christ is Lord, you will be saved.
Period.
That's the truth. You believe it and say it. So,
That's a W. Remember Jameis Winston?
oh, I'm gonna eat a dub. Little light didn't work. It's because I gotta use it. I'm so terrible. Remind me to use that light. He won't remind me. He doesn't have a good memory.
Oh, are you talking to me?
Oh gosh.
Who else would I be
He's not
talking
even
to?
on his phone.
I was taking a drink and I saw some comments.
Oh,
He
okay.
was-
That makes more
okay.
sense, at least. All right, hey, man, we got so many great questions. It's hard to end right now. Hey, Michael says completely agree with that sentiment, Brandon. Jordan says tomorrow isn't promised. Dude, can I just say you guys have been killing it as an audience lately?
Absolutely,
I agree.
man. It's been you guys make it
Yes,
easy on us.
You were
lately.
part of that last week, so thank you, man. Thank
Yeah.
you to the people. I mean this that are on the show and then still support the show. And like that's just cool.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely.
How do you get past traumatic dreams and flashbacks?
Oh, man.
Prayer and talk to people.
That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, talk it out for sure.
Don't put it in a nothing box.
True.
Hey.
Chris says, I've heard Last Days, Antichrist, all that for 25 years. It'll happen no matter if I know or not. That's true. He says, just got to be ready. Preach,
Yep.
brother.
And there's only one way.
Sevi, I miss you, buddy.
And I miss you
Bob-
too, Sevi.
Bible says, no one knows the time of day. Best says, live each day as your last. That's true.
Facts.
Cool. Well, I think that's. I'll make sure we didn't get any. Man, we got so many. Guys, if you want to see these amazing questions, and I promise you
we
they
got
are
lots of
good.
them.
Will you take a second? There's 24 on now. We had 30. Go check out. I know what you're thinking. It's boring. Go check out our web series,
Mm-hmm.
Real Talk web series. They're numbered and they each have a title. So this past week was Divide and Conquer.
Yes.
They're also on every podcast format imaginable. Just literally
That's right.
type in Real Talk web series.
That's right.
I'm telling you, we go into depth in these, and we have about 11. We didn't get to these today because
Yeah.
we had something
Had a
live.
great
and,
show.
and that's the point of live.
Absolutely. Yes. And if you guys do listen to podcasts, if you're into that, we do have the latest episode Divide and Conquer linked on Spotify and Apple Music in the description above. So go ahead and give it a click and give it a listen.
Keep bragging on us. Never gets old hearing how awesome we are. You are awesome, brother. I'm glad you were born. It's his birthday. All right, hey, we'll start with
You're welcome, man.
Brandon. You got anything?
Just thanks for having me, guys. I love this. I love being with you guys. Thanks for the encouragement on my testimony, everybody. I think living your life can make you think that it's just a story sometimes.
Man, you're just dropping wisdom bombs.
I don't know. I really enjoy this time, and thanks again.
Absolutely, man. Thank you guys so much. You know, you guys are part of a ministry. You know, this is what started as just a little show to talk about, talk to y'all. It's turned into, something that's spread far wider than I would have ever imagined. And you guys are the biggest part of that. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. These are the moments where I'll be looking back in life going, man, those are the good moments. Those are the good times.
Yes.
And because of you guys made that possible for me. So love you guys and thank you so much.
I prayed during this time to sleep. Candace says, I just want to, and you're right on before I end up. Norman says, thanks for seeing Stoked again, AJ. Chris
You're
says,
welcome, Norm.
awesome seeing high energy at the end of the show from audience. Absolutely, Chris. And I mean this, Chris. Hear me. We missed you, brother. Thanks for being on again.
I miss you.
I really do. We talk about him, don't we?
We
really
do, man.
We love you, dude. Caden says, what if it's scary to talk to people? This is where his advice came in. You just got to take a chance. 1, 2, 3, go.
1, 2, 3, go. That's right.
Find someone. And Cadence, I know for a fact you have some people in your youth group, some adult volunteers that would talk to you about anything. And
Absolutely.
trust them. Sevi Michael says, Todd, Skylar surgery's tomorrow at 10 Indiana time. Would really appreciate prayers for 405-hour surgery. Sevi, I promise you, man, I will pray as soon as we're done here, and I will continue
Absolutely.
to pray. I have prayed ever since we had our talk and text. Sevi's an awesome guy. He'll text me
Oh, I
halfway.
love
He'll be
Sevi.
like, hey, you'll send me something. I respond. I don't hear from you again. I want you to know, dude, I'm really here for you. I love you. Call me, text me anytime as you're processing all this. I know you got a lot of downtime, so if you need someone to talk to. Sydney says, Brandon, I enjoyed hearing you speak tonight. You did an okay job.
Which is better than not an okay job, I'm told.
Norman says, love every single one of you brothers. You know what?
Love you, Norm.
Let's
Love
pray
you,
right
Norm.
now for Sevi.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Father, we thank you so much for Michael and his heart and his support, God. We all, whoever watching, believers, and we're right now praying for him. We're praying for his daughter, God. Well, first we pray for her her discouragement. We pray, man, she just dealing with this is such a battle. I pray for Michael and his wife as well, and how it must be to see their daughter hurting at times. God, I pray for wisdom and skill for the doctors, and I pray, God, you can do the miraculous, and we pray that you would do that. And thank you for the testimony of Michael's family, because I've seen it, and it's inspired my faith, and I pray that would keep them going as you take their trauma and turn it into a trophy. We give you glory, Lord, and we thank you in advance for what you're going to do. In Jesus Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much. Love you all. Hey, this is big for Jordan. Great job tonight. Love you all. Thank you for all you do, Brandon. I guess we can be friends.
I've been waiting 4 years for that.
We've been waiting 4 years for that.
You know this, but I'll say it for the camera. I love you very much. I'm very proud of you. Talk about it all the time.
Thank you.
You're one of my best buddies. So, Norman says, thank you to everyone behind the scenes. Absolutely. Production guy Blake, love you so much. These guys get paid absolutely nothing except love and affection and sometimes food. So thank you. Fun Turn Clint, appreciate them. Do a lot of hard work. AJ, as always, my partner in crime. The Batman to my Robin, perhaps?
Ooh.
I'll let you be Batman.
Did you just make yourself Robin?
I never wanted to. I did it out of humility. I really don't think I'm Robin.
Well, you're not in this situation.
Anyway, my compadre, my friend, the
love
Jimmy
you,
of
man.
my Superman. There, I saved it. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, dude. Love you. Love you too, Cadence. Love you, Bessie. Appreciate you. Hey, have a great night, guys. Please like and share. Go check out our podcast. We need more views. If you haven't listened to it, the video is right above on this page. Or go listen on Apple Podcasts. It's called Real Talk Web Series. I'm telling you, it's awesome. Yes. And Ed, thank you so much, man. I saw your prayers earlier. Ed, come and see us at the Remnant sometime if I think you're in the area. We'd love to see you, brother. Everyone else, have a great, great night. Pray for us, and God bless you.